go back a little bit.
So I'm with Ernie Bell, the great Ernie Bell, Superintendent of the Sierra Sands District in beautiful Ridgecrest, Kern County, Southern California, USA. And it's just a coincidence that today, May 9th, Wednesday, they're having a special ceremony to recognize the Teachers of the Year, employees, and other people right here at Kerr McGee. And next door, I was honored and helped to have a venue for the children's chorus. So it's just a magical coincidence. Thank you. And you were telling me something, we're talking about morality, about kindness, what is old school. Please repeat in a few words.
Well, we just have an amazing community here. You know, I was born and raised here, third generation. And when you think about values and community values and what we value here, it's all about relationships. It's all about the community aspect. Everyone contributes in so many different ways. You know, with the school district, we honored our Employees of the Year tonight. To read and to really feel the comments that were made by those that nominated their educators, and I'm not talking just about teachers, I'm talking about support staff, office staff.
Well, everybody's important.
Everyone involved in the school district is an educator. And to read those heartfelt comments, the inspirational words of those, is amazing. And we have such a gem here. You know, people a lot of times do not realize what kind of a gem we have for a community until they leave.
Well,
and they come back.
My question to you is this, I'm going to be a little facetious, I don't want to be New York sarcastic, but the question is, how do you bottle this? How do you clone this model and multiply it across the country? I'm not saying there's no other places like this, I'm sure there's many other places, but there's a lot of troubled places in our country. And the question is, well, how do you take this, how do you create this special energy, this special way of, you know, being good?
That's a really good question. I wish I knew the answer, but I can tell you this. If everyone believes in the moral values of a community, if everyone has the heartfelt desire to be a part of that, to be an influential leader, if you can bottle that, and you look at our kids that are coming up, the statement you just showed me on the back of the board.
Oh my God, this is outstanding. Oh my God.
25%.
Oh my God. I mean, it put my like chicken, you know, a young lady by the name of Olivia Eubank, she's I think 14 at one of your schools, Burroughs.
Yes.
And she's a freshman. She came here because Mark had a musician, the teacher there. He said, I'll help you, David. You need volunteers. You're going to have a lot of kids for your chorus. And she sent this young lady with another friend who's a designer, very talented girl. What's her name? The other girl.
Diana.
Alida Eubank, 14 years old, comes from a very troubled home. She read to me a poem she wrote. Her parents were addicts. Now they recovered. And it's a poem that brought me almost to tears. And she read it. And she sang it. She made a melody. And I'm talking to her, and she comes up with this statement about the future, because I'm saying you will change your generation. My kids are same generation. Jacob is 17, Jessica's 20. And she came up with this. I said, write it down immediately. I'm going to forget it. She said, children are only 25% of the world today, but 100% of the future. I said, where did you read this? This is amazing. What book did you read it in? I came up with it. Olivia Eubank.
Very sharp.
So there's a lot of kids like
future leaders.
So you are raising a generation of good people, you know? And I want to know, how do you do this? How can we take this model that you developed over your life, you know?
It's a community who believes in the same values, the same mission.
Yeah.
And it's very heartfelt, and everybody contributes to it.
And it's,
and when you see somebody that is struggling with that, you do everything you can to bring them in.
Yeah.
And consider them to be family. And it's unfortunate when a lot of organizations struggle with that. It really is.
Yeah.
But
well, I think
here
you're doing an
at
outstanding
Ridgecrest,
job.
we're so fortunate.
Yeah.
With our leadership, with the base leadership, we work so well together.
It
and
seems
really
like
understanding
it's a
what
seamless,
community is all about.
at all different levels. I met the mayor, I met the chief of police, Jet McLaughlin, and everybody seems to work seamlessly. You know, you all speak the same language, and you know, you're doing an extraordinary job. I'm just in awe of the way everybody helps each other. I'm not saying they don't help in New York. People are very nice everywhere, and you have people that don't do the right thing also everywhere. But by and large, I felt the warmth and patriotism. I don't want to get started with the 1,000 flags in September when I met Patricia Farris.
Right.
Oh my God, you know, being an immigrant, America is very important to me in a very special way than perhaps for people that are born here. I joke that you were lucky to be born, but somebody else in your family paid the price a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I am in awe, and I want to give back through music education, and that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, so the question still remains to be discussed. How do we work together to take this model, kind of franchise it like McDonald's? They found the formula for a Happy Meal, and they learned how to do it. I think this needs to be told to the world. And the one way I'm going to do it, with your permission, I'm going to post this tonight as a conversation. I'm sure people know who you are, but the world needs to see you without the fancy schmancy presentations, you know, and all that, as a human being. And you're a third generation.
I am.
Wow. So you go back to the foundation of this city that started in the early 20th century.
Yes.
Tell me quickly about your father and your mother and your grandparents, how that were
My
at the beginning.
grandparents from Arkansas and Texas, and great-grandparents.
They're from Arkansas and Texas.
On my dad's side, and then from Texas on my mother's side in Oklahoma. And they came out here in the early 1900s.
Right, when the
My
city was formed.
great-grandfather by wagon.
By wagon.
And so, anyway, they started here. My dad moved here back in, I believe it was 1943. Okay.
Sounds like the Patricia Farris story, because I did videos with her the same way, and now they're on YouTube, and she told me exactly how they came from Missouri.
Right. And so my mom, they were high school
Sweethearts.
friends. They weren't sweethearts yet.
Yeah.
My mom was the homecoming queen.
What was your mom and dad's name, if I may ask?
My mom's last name was Milligan.
And first
my
name?
dad was Peggy.
Peggy Milligan.
Milligan.
Irish.
And then, yeah. Yes.
And your father?
My father was Maurice Bell. And so
That sounds
they
French.
went to high school
Canadian.
together, and then my wife's parents actually were high school friends with my parents. And so they all graduated from Burroughs here. And
which was founded by the famous engineer Burroughs.
Sherman E. Burroughs.
Sherman E. Burroughs.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you,
and then my kids all came back, went to college, went away, and all came back.
how many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Their names are?
Jacob, Rebecca, and Zachary.
And how old are they today?
26, 24, and 22.
You remember their ages, you keep track of their
Oh, yeah.
ages.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're still your little children.
They are.
Yeah, I have a Jacob also. It's a coincidence. I have a Jacob and a Jessica. I'm proud to tell you because we're parents. Jacob just finishing now high school in Brooklyn at Madison, one of the best high schools in New York City, and was just admitted at San Diego State Engineering.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and he fell in love with Ridgecrest, with the people he met for Christmas, Thanksgiving, and I think he's gonna start
Maybe
working
he
on the
would like to
base.
come back.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and I think he's very interested. He loves the military. He's very patriotic. When my kids were very young, being an immigrant, when we went to Coney Island beaches over there in Brooklyn, I put little flags as markers. When they go in the water, we find each other. And from a young age, I taught them the meaning of the colors, of the stars, of what America means. It's not just a little piece of cloth, you know. And somebody was going on the beach. Hey, it's not 4th of July. Why are you putting that? I said, you have a problem with that? You want to talk to me? Excuse me. It's our flag.
You bet.
Yeah, so I get very disappointed when I see people that have good political reasons to be upset or whatever, but not to use the flag. You can use other forms, you know, talking about flag. So I have a Jacob also, but what do your children do today?
Well,
Jacob,
2 of them-
24, 26, Rebecca.
2 of them are working, on the base, and then my daughter, she's the youngest one. She's working at the college and
Over
teaching,
here,
and
at
teaching
Ridgecrest.
health at the high school.
So the kids, you instilled in them such values that they, from a young age, they understood the meaning of Ridgecrest.
And it takes a village. I mean, it wasn't just her mom and I.
Yeah.
There's her grandparents. It was like we shared tonight, with all of her teachers. It's those kind of influential people in this
They are, but they're the
community.
circle in the family, they're the safety nets. But my belief, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I think we have the same upbringing, though your background is Irish and all that, my background is Romanian, Jewish, but I think we all speak the same language. When you raise a child, it should start with the parents.
Mhm. You're absolutely right.
And when Jesse was born, I was a little older, 41, I was a little nervous, the baby was okay with my wife at the doctor and taking pictures and all that. I was reading a magazine that the light bulb went on. The lady says, the psychologist says, don't worry about teaching your child how to play the piano like Mozart at 3. There's great teachers out there talking to the parent. Don't worry, somebody's gonna teach them math at the age of 4, reading the New York Times and all that. The most important job a parent has is to teach them how to be kind.
Yes.
So wait a minute. Then she says, we're born like little animals to survive. Kindness is a seed that has to be grown in us and
correct.
developed. And if you don't water that seed of kindness from an early age, then you get children with problems when they come to school. And you have to put band-aids. So it is the parents that have to start the process. You know, in Romania, they have an expression. When a child doesn't behave, somebody says, oh, this child doesn't have the first 7 years from home, which is one of the greatest insults to a parent to hear that they did not educate their child the formative years.
Yeah.
So I think we speak the same language. So you and your wife should be
Well,
very
thank you,
proud.
David, thank you.
Thank you.
We are. We're so proud.
Thank you very much for your
And
time.
we're
I know
glad
you're
here in our community.
I am doing my darndest
You bring a very, just a spark that we need for music and for the appreciation of music and all of that. So
You know,
thank you.
I was accused a long time ago that you have a little Irish in you, the spark, the Irish spark.
Yeah, I believe
Dandy
that.
boy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very nice talking to you.
Thank you for your
Appreciate all you
time. I
do.
know you're tired, but I thought this was a moment, and I'm kind of a musician, though I'm classically trained. I like to improvise, and I felt a moment. I don't know. You know what? Let me capture this. This will disappear if we don't capture it. Thanks to technology and my friend Brian. Now the world will learn a little more about what a great
you.
person you are and what a great city we live in.
Well, thank you.
God bless.
And you too, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.